Hello, I hope you all had a great week, and I'm looking forward to a good week ahead, and I hope you are too. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up in the class. I'll switch over to my Canvas site now. We are in week 4 already. So we're beginning week 4, and we're going to be talking about a pretty important topic this week, evidence-based practices. This is covered in chapter 3 of your text, so I do want you to read chapter 3, and please pay attention to the information in there. We are going to come back again and again to this idea of evidence-based practices because the interventions and therapies that we use with individuals on the autism spectrum are going to be evidence-based practices. With a few exceptions, that's going to be what we will focus on for the remainder of this semester. Different evidence-based practices, and they are outlined in the rest of your textbook too. So for this week, you have 3 assignments. I would like you to start with this first one. It's an Iris Star Legacy module. It's one of the learning modules that I use, and some of you might be familiar with. These are great learning modules. They are overseen by Vanderbilt University and the Office of Special Education. They contain the latest research-based information on a lot of important topics in the field of special education. They're very well respected, and this one is on evidence-based practices that are used for individuals with autism spectrum disorders. So I have a tutorial on how to use an IRIS module. If you've never used one, please refer to that. It is linked on your assignment right here, and it is also linked on your Canvas page under tutorials. They are set up in a 5-part format. The first is a short video that sets up the topic. It introduces the topic. It's about 3 minutes long. And then the initial thoughts just bring up some questions that are similar to essential questions that will be addressed throughout the module. And then the perspectives and resources section is where we get the information. This lists the objectives and the related standards, and there are a lot to different organizations like the CEC and NCATE, etc. So for here, you're going to see that in the perspectives and resources section, there are 8 informational pages, and you can navigate through the module either by clicking here, page by page, or just the next button. I just want to show you this. These are a list of the evidence-based practices that have been researched and approved for use with individuals with autism. So you can see they're listed here. This module is going to go through and talk about why they're evidence-based, what is the evidence. When you do the other learning modules that I have assigned to you, like the Affirm modules, for autism, you're going to see that each one of those Affirm modules has a handout that tells you what the evidence base is behind that particular topic that the module addresses. So anyway, you will go through that module. In it, you will watch videos, listen to podcasts, complete simple activities, look at graphs, charts. They're very interactive, and they're multisensory. So I think you will enjoy getting the information that way. Most of my students do. When you are done with that resources, perspectives and resources section, I want you to look at the wrap-up section, which gives you a little bit more information and kind of brings everything together. But you do not have to do the assessment section, because these are questions, and the questions that I want you to answer regarding this assessment are contained in this quiz. This assignment is set up as a quiz, and there are 10 questions that you will answer. It is not timed, and it should take you about 3 hours to complete this assignment. The other assignments for the week are this discussion on dangerous practices. You will know about evidence-based practices and that we want to use emerging and validated practices, but some practices have no research behind them, and while they might not cause harm, they're not probably going to do a great deal to help your students. Well, you might be thinking back to the gluten and casein-free discussion we had. Some things just don't have enough evidence or research behind them to show whether they are valid or not valid. And those are emerging practices. But some practices are dangerous. And we are going to take a look at a practice that actually does more harm than good, and it's facilitated communication. So some of you might have heard about that. We're going to look a little bit deeper about facilitated communication and have a conversation on that. Your final assignment is the National Standards Project assignment. This is the project looked at these evidence-based practices, and this is where we get that information that is on the IRIS module and that many experts in the field of autism refer back to. It describes established treatments, emerging treatments, and unestablished treatments. So you're going to take a look at phase 2 of the National Standards Project, and you're going to choose one or two of those either established or emerging practices, and you're going to write a short paper on it. You might need to do some additional information. Remember, your textbook has a lot of information on these evidence-based practices. So that concludes the assignments for week 4, and I just want to reiterate the importance of reading the chapter 3. I did not include a quiz on chapter 3. I think I can rely on you, though, to read the chapter. As I said, this is an important one. Chapters 3, 4, and 5 of your book are very important, and I'm going to refer back to them. They contain really important foundational information. So that's what we have for the week ahead. As usual, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. We can talk on the phone or video chat or correspond by email. Have a great week. Thanks.